Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Life of Barney. Today I'm going to be talking about my go-to barbecue, which is the Napoleon Rogue 425 Black Edition. And it's not a sales pitch for barbecue, but spring's here. A lot of people are replacing their barbecues. Some of you might not have a barbecue and you're looking to buy one, and you don't really know how some of these barbecues might stand up over time. I've had this barbecue for 7 months now. Well, we'll get into the details of how I treat it and how it's stood up so far over time. But for now, roll the intro. So the 425 was bought for me as a housewarming gift when we moved into this place 7 months ago. It's held up pretty good. I'll show you guys a picture here in a sec. I need to issue a bit of a disclaimer. This isn't going to get extremely technical. If you're looking for tech specs or anything, that'd be more of a sales pitch. But I just want to tell you how I treat my barbecues and how this one's held up after 7 months of usage. So first and foremost, just a little bit of info, because that's always helpful. It's a 42,000 BTU 3-burner propane barbecue. For many people, that's enough information to go on. It's 425 series, or the Rogue 425, because it's approximately 425 square inches of grill space. 425. That's where that comes from. So that 42,000 BTU is divided across the 3 burners. All right, so as I was saying before, I'm going to tell you guys how I treat my barbecues, and it is not very nice. I forget to put the cover on all the time. I leave my barbecues out in the rain. I barbecue all year round as well, and in Canada, at least where I'm at, I'm not even that far north. I'm in southwestern Ontario. We get some pretty cold winters. And this past winter, we had temps down to like minus 20 before wind chill, minus 20 Celsius. The barbecue held up just fine. And with the rain, freezing rain, and the snow, everything that would develop and just pump down on this thing, there's no discoloration. It looks fantastic. So I'll show you guys how it's looking. That's the Napoleon Rogue 425. For those who are wondering, drinking a cherry buble, or I'm about to in a few minutes anyway. 3 burners. And when I say I don't treat these things the nicest, like, my grill's pretty dirty. Why? Because I don't clean the grill after I'm done using it. I usually wait until the next time, which means all the food's sitting on there in between cooks. Which, if you didn't know, it's not the greatest thing for your grills. But these haven't shown any tarnish. They haven't shown any deterioration, any discoloration whatsoever. I guess this wavy grill design is Napoleon's style. And I'm not sure if there's a rhyme or reason for that. I'm not really bothered by it or anything, but it is a little weird when you're doing sausages or footlongs or anything on the barbecue, only because they don't line up nicely with the parallel grills that some other barbecues have. But otherwise, like, these things are standing up. They're very solid. They're easy to clean. Because they're so solid, they don't bend when you put some weight on it, and I scrub them pretty hard sometimes. One thing I'll say that I appreciate about this particular barbecue, and that I've noticed after using it for 7 months, is that the weight of the lid, it feels pretty sturdy, but what I like about it, I guess maybe a little thicker gauge metal, I suppose. It holds in the temperature quite nicely if it's pretty cold outside. The claim about the Napoleon 425 is that it'll actually get up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit in 4 minutes. And funny enough, we were out here earlier and I fired it up just to burn off the rain that was on it, thinking I'd get some filming done this afternoon. And I timed it, and yeah, 4 minutes. It was actually at 450. And then to cool off, if you have little kids and you're worried the kids might come up, because I do have the little patio behind the barbecue, it cools off in about 5 or 6 minutes, back to or zeroes out the temp. So for anybody who wanted to know that. Looking under the hood again, one of the things I thought was going to drive me nuts when I first started using it is it's not actually that much of a height difference between the top rack and the main grilling surface. And when I'm putting things on the barbecue, I like to load it up if I have to anyway, including pushing things all the way to the back, which sometimes it's hard when that top grill is so low. But I gotta be honest, it was actually pretty easy to get to the back to flip meat, or even if you have a veggie tray at the back grilling some veggies, it's easy to stir that up too. Now, if you don't have a whole lot of space on your deck, just another feature, it's kind of helpful, I guess. If you lift up and pull back on these the side surfaces, they actually fold down. Now, it's not a problem for me, and the cover that I have sitting right there, it's actually covering it quite nicely. I almost never put the sides down, but if maybe you have it up on the deck and your deck isn't very big, or wherever you have it in the yard isn't very big and you need it to shrink when it's not in use, that would probably be pretty helpful for some of you guys. I mean, this is supposed to be a 7-month update, not really a sales pitch, but some guys might find that pretty helpful, especially if you got a tight space to work in. Something else you folks might like to know are the hot spots. So after using it for so long, I've noticed that right along the front, where am I? Right here, right along the front, as is with most barbecues, there is a very cold line right here. Now, in all fairness, the barbecue's tipped forwards a little bit because I'm not on perfectly even ground. I haven't leveled out the surface where the barbecue is. And for hot spots, this back right corner, for some reason, seems to be way hotter than the rest of the barbecue cook surface. Now, every barbecue is going to grill a little bit different. Every barbecue is going to have its hot spots. I haven't used one yet that's perfect. Last but not least, I think I should mention this. Something that drives me nuts, but it seems that no thermometer is immune to it, is the condensation and moisture buildup inside the thermometer. Now, to be totally honest, I only noticed this after the last few days, and it's been raining, I think, 5 or 6 days straight down here in southwestern Ontario. And I know some of you folks in the States have just been getting pummeled with storms over the last 2 weeks. So that might have something to do with it. Maybe it just got totally saturated, couldn't keep the water out anymore. I'm not sure. For comparison, I've had my Weber Smoky Mountain for 7 years, and I've had my nice River Country thermometer on here for 7 years, but you pay a pretty penny for it. And I leave this thing out 365 days of the year, and it doesn't have any moisture buildup inside the thermometer. All right, guys, well, that's it for my little discussion here. 7 months with this Rogue Series 425. I'm pretty happy with it. I use it a few times a week, every week. As I said, all through the fall, winter, and now we're into the spring, and it's holding up, and I ride it hard and put it away wet, or whatever the saying is. I don't know. Anyway, it's time for me to sign off here. Just finished story time with the kids before filming, and for those of you who are dads out there, you know what it's like in a dimly lit room with that sound machine going, reading bedtime stories. You yourself start to get a little sleepy. Might be time to crack open my last beer of the day, put something on the TV, and kick my feet up with Ollie. I'm glad you guys have tuned in. By the way, if you made it this far, you may as well hit subscribe. I'm really glad you guys are enjoying the content so far, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and don't tell my parents I was smoking in the backyard. See you next time.